This is Bible Times. I'm Willard Pless. Today we want to talk about when did America start becoming Babylon? And when we start looking at this, we want to know what the Bible is teaching. What does the Bible say about this? And the Bible takes us back specifically to World War II. And when JFK became president after World War II, that he became president, and he was the first one of the 10 horns that the Bible talks about. And so we want to talk about this. We want to bring this out and realize when America started becoming Babylon, and it started after World War II with President Kennedy. And so we learned that counting him, President Kennedy, and going through Obama, which is the 10th president that the Bible talks about. The Bible talks about it being the 10 horns, that one that would become the main leader of Babylon when it would actually get back to power would be President Trump, that would sprout out of the 10. And so this is what we want to talk about. And also back then, the doctrine of Babylon, that you might say the gospel of Babylon began back then as too also. That when this started, Billy Graham entered the picture, and he taught once saved, always saved. And see, Babylon is Satan's kingdom, that he gets built here on earth. That we learn the Bible teaches that this is his kingdom. So the once saved, always saved doctrine was Babylon's doctrine, the kingdom of Satan. See, Satan actually becomes the Jesus of the gospel of Babylon. And we know that began back then as well. That Billy Graham became the advisor to the presidents, plumb on through Obama. And he did live a year into the first term of President Trump before he died. And but see, this doctrine is still a part of this kingdom that's still going on today. That it really came to its power when President Trump sprouted out of the 10. In 2018, it started coming to its power. And now that President Trump is back, that he came back in 2025, and see, now this is Babylon in its power. This is the Babylon, this is America, the Babylon, and Babylon has conquered the Middle East, especially Israel. See, the Bible teaches that the little horn that sprouts out of the 10 that Daniel talks about, and you can go to Daniel chapter 7 and read about this. Daniel talks about it. See, God gives it to Daniel, and Daniel writes about it in his book. See, this is God that's giving this thing. It's not Daniel's prophecy. It's God's prophecy. See, God is the writer of the Bible. He's the author of the Bible. He used man to write it, to put it together. He worked through them to give the truth. And this is what we're looking at. And so we know that Babylon is back now in its power. And President Trump is the leader of the new Babylon that the Bible talks about. And you can go to Revelation there in chapter 17 and 18 and learn the structure of it and what's going to be going on and the turmoil that is going to be involved with it. And the Bible talks about all of this. Talks about the turmoil, the chaos that this kingdom's going to have. This is Satan's kingdom that he's got built here on earth. Now, if you look at God's kingdom that he's got here on earth, God's kingdom is with Israel. That he's using them to reveal his kingdom in this world. And the Bible teaches that Satan's kingdom will have control for some time and will make war with the Lamb, which is Jesus, and Israel, and make war with them for some time. Then later on that Israel's going to turn against President Trump. And we see that this is going to happen after November the 22nd here in 2025. And that Israel's going to turn against President Trump. They're going to do the same thing they did with Nebuchadnezzar. See, that's why Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the city and the temple back when he did. And that's why the Romans destroyed the city and the temple when they did, because that Jerusalem rebelled against them, and they destroyed the city and the temple. And so this is going to happen again here with President Trump. When Israel turns him off, then he's going to send a flood. And the Bible talks about this. Daniel talks about it in the 9th chapter of his book. And I know I'm giving a lot of stuff here that you probably never heard about or never studied about, because the church world hadn't given this. The church world went out on its own and started its own doctrine, and eternal security got into the church world as well, and has misled the church. Once saved, always saved doctrine came about when Babylon started coming back to power during World War II, after World War II, with the 10 horns, the 10 presidents through Obama, starting with President Kennedy. And I don't know if you can see this or understand this or not, but I want to bring it out so you'll begin to think about it and look at it and understand what the Bible's teaching. See the 10 horns in Revelation chapter 13, that the beast comes forward. President Trump is the beast. He's the one that was riding the white horse in Revelation chapter 6, that he's the rider of the white horse, And the Bible says that he'll be receiving crowns, that he'll conquer without weapons, with flattery. And he's conquered Israel with flattery, and he's also conquering the surrounding nations with flattery as well, that he will not use weapons, and the nations will follow him and listen to him. But Israel is they're going to turn bitter toward President Trump when he starts gaining power within the surrounding nations of Israel, which the nations that hates Israel and wants to destroy them, then they're going to turn against President Trump. And when they do this, then he's going to flood Jerusalem just like he did Capitol Hill. That his people, Daniel in chapter 9, verse 26, talks about this, and you can go there and read it. And I don't know if you can understand what that verse is talking about or not, but let me say again, the only way you can understand the Bible, you got to let Jesus in your heart, and you got to walk with him and listen to him, because he's the one that gives understanding. No man understands the Bible in any way unless he gives it to you. Daniel could not understand what he was seeing and hearing until God gave him the understanding. You can go there and study that Jesus had to give him the understanding before he could understand what it was talking about. That he sent angels, he sent Gabriel to Daniel and revealed to Daniel the interpretation of what he was seeing and what God was giving him. He saw it first, but he couldn't understand that. See, that's the way the Bible is. The Bible is written in a way that you and I can't really understand what it's saying or talking about unless we walk with Jesus and have him in our heart and be in his kingdom. Be a part of his kingdom, not a part of Satan's kingdom. If you walk in Satan's kingdom, you're not going to understand. If you're being a part of what Satan's doing here to set up his kingdom. And the Bible teaches that Satan is going to get his kingdom set up, but Jesus is going to come and take it down. And then Jesus is going to set up the 7th millennial, and he's going to be sitting on the throne then. And I want to be a part of that. I definitely want to be a part of the 7th millennial. I want to work in God's kingdom. I want to see everything that I can see, understand everything I can understand. I'm not pushing back. I'm trying to learn and see and understand. A lot of people push back. They don't want the truth. Jesus said to the people when he was here, Israel, he said, you choose darkness rather than light. And Paul told the ones that were with him that he told them, he said, when the church world turns to fables, and that means to just tell story like messages, you turn away from that. Don't go that way. And the church world got into that. The church world can read just a little passage or a few verses, and then they set off to tell a big story, and of course they insert what they're trying to tell the people that they're trying to lead, that they need to do this or do that. And see, eternal security teaches that you can come to faith and then you can go and live about any way you want to and still be with God in his kingdom. But the Bible don't teach that. I've never believed that. They've tried to get me to believe it, but I've never believed it. And I'm not going to believe it. I believe you can walk away anytime you want to, because that's the way God is. He's a God of freedom and liberty and democracy. But see, Satan is for dictatorship and rule of force. But God in his kingdom is a God of leadership. He wants to lead people. That's why he came back to the Garden of Eden to lead Adam and Eve, but they wouldn't follow. And then he came to this world to get the Israel to walk with him, but they wouldn't come out and walk with him either. So he's a leader. He's not Jesus don't drive the sheep. Satan, he tries to drive the sheep and put them under heavy laws and rules. But see, God wants to free. He wants you to come and walk with him and be free from the law. When you walk with him and listen to him, then you don't need the law then. It helps you to understand what sin's all about. And so we just want to help in every way we can and hope you walk to Jesus, walk with him, fellowship with him, and understand and be a part. And so God bless you, and you have a great day.